Hi guys, welcome back. It's Sports with Mono and Mono. It's May 30th, 2021. I'm here with my partner, as usual. Apologize for the delay, but it's a long weekend, so...
What delay? It's a holiday weekend.
It is.
We chose to do our show on Sunday morning.
We did.
Nothing wrong with that.
And it's unusually cold in the Northeast.
It feels like October 28th
Yeah,
football weather.
It'll change, but
And we're watching the raindrops fall.
They were hoping that this was going to be the marquee weekend, kick off the summer, tradition, that kind of thing. And it just got cold and it's just rainy, and
It is what it is.
It is what it is. But welcome back, everybody, and we got a packed agenda today, and
You got the monologue, so let's get going.
I'll do it. So,
Uninterrupted 2 minutes. That's the format.
that's the format.
All right.
Anybody has any change in format suggestions? Send us an email
No,
at sports.
no change in format.
Anyway, so I'm going to jump right into it with this. There's two words for this weekend, and it's Memorial Day. And a lot of people say, what are you guys doing? It's about sports. Well, it's because what I want to talk about is why we get to watch sports. And, it's because of the sacrifices of the people and men and women of the armed forces over the years, and it's... just an amazing time, and I just wanted to make sure we recognize that. And when we talk about sports, we know Ted Williams took a few years off to go, fight the Germans and the Japanese in World War II, and it's unbelievable. It's a great weekend to at least say thank you to somebody in our armed forces. And Sports with Mono and Mono, it's close to our heart. The history of this country and why we have the liberties that we do. And I just wanted to make sure that I brought it up from our perspective that, sports is great, but it's because of these sacrifices that we get to watch sports. And there's one thing that was in particular, and one of our listeners, Micah Bay, sent this to me. And it's powerful, to say the least. It's called The B-17 Tale That Carried On Fighting. And it's a World War II story about this pilot named Eugene Moran, his plane was literally shot in half, and he made it to the ground and he was alive. And it just personifies exactly what we're talking about and why Memorial Day is so important to us. And it's a great story. It's on YouTube. It's like a 3-minute clip. I highly suggest you watch it because it's powerful, to say the least. What this guy endured, and if we look at it in perspective, how many tens and hundreds of thousands of men gave that ultimate sacrifice, and it's real important to me that we convey this on our show because it's powerful. And we're going to sit back and enjoy all the NBA and NHL playoffs, which we're going to get into. But I wanted to know that's why we have the ability to do that. So happy Memorial Day, and that's my monologue, Steve.
Yeah, that's apropos coming from you, and it's a great monologue, and my sentiments are exactly the same. For us, it's a thank you weekend.
Big time.
Each town typically will have a Memorial Day parade, and with
And
lawn chairs
so.
and so on and so forth. And I got to say, I would say a majority of the people are out there waving their flags, and I get it, right? But I really don't think the majority of the people really fully understand what Memorial Day means. Yeah. And I'm not knocking them, I'm just saying. So when you see in a local town the grand marshal of that parade, it's typically, the guy is 85 and he's wearing his uniform and so on and so forth. Yep. But that's a person that served the country, yep. And he's one of hundreds, if not millions. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands.
Over the course of time, millions.
Yes, that sacrificed for us to be able to enjoy a hot dog, hamburger, a beer on at the end of May here. And so it's really thank you. And I think that's great that you opened the show that way.
Yeah. So, and like I said, it's a kind of a tradition of mine. We got an email from Jim Walsh, one of our loyal listeners, who was recommending this book called The Greatest Generation. And, that phrase is so apropos, from World War II. And we get to sit back on a cold, rainy day in the Northeast and watch some unbelievable movies on
I think
Turner
that was,
Classic.
I don't know, it was just top of my head. Is that Tom Brokaw? I know Tom Brokaw.
He wrote a book about his father and so forth. I think his experiences and
somehow I think The Greatest Generation is tied to him in some way.
But before we move on, I just saw this thing on CBS Sunday Morning, which I think is a great show, by the way. 9 o'clock. It's now hosted by Jane Pauley. But there is one remaining Medal of Honor winner from World War II. And he's 97 years old, and his story is, just personifies, like I said before, what this day and weekend is all about. So enjoy your hot dogs, but say thank you to somebody.
Absolutely.
So let's move on, and let's get back to something that happened last week, because it kind of shocked me, kind of shocked you. Phil Mickelson wins the PGA Championship.
Yeah, we did the show, and both of us said he's not winning, and I was waiting for him to implode.
We all were.
But I got to tell you, he deserved that victory. He made the shots. I thought it was great. I'm a Phil fan. I always have been. I know.
I'm kind of on the fence.
I know he rubs people, the wrong way. Some of our audience.
He does.
But I thought it was fantastic, and I was thrilled that he pulled it off.
And none of us saw it coming. I mean,
No,
none of us
nobody
saw it
did.
coming.
I don't even think he saw it coming.
But when he made that shot out of the bunker and he held it out,
Yeah.
that's when you said, I think this might happen. And it happened.
Yeah, but he absolutely is deserving of it.
Yep.
And I'm loving this Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau
And again-
feud. I think this is great.
And again, I swear to God.
And I will take Brooks in a first round knockout within 30 seconds.
It's kind of funny because I swear to God, I had the notes written. I wanted to bring this up after we talked about Mickelson. It is funny. And we're Brooks Koepka fans, but this guy DeChambeau is big as a house. It's funny. But it's kind of what golf needs. It's kind of spicing things up.
It is. But back to Mickelson real quick. That scene as he was approaching 18, just a sea of people, it really was just, it was something else. It really,
And we saw this
it was genuine and
very similar to when Tiger won the Masters.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's kind of in the same vein. It's almost like, Tiger won it and Mickelson tried to top him. That rivalry continues. It was great, right?
So what came of this is the what's it going to be? Phil and Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers and DeChambeau.
Charles Barkley didn't make the cut this time. Very good. But the feud is funny. There's a clip you could see, and Koepka just loathes this guy.
And which I love because I mentioned on the show, and I referenced Mike Garvey. I do not like this DeChambeau, and I swear to God, I'm not rooting for him in the slightest.
But he's got some leverage. He's young, and he does have a major in his pocket. Brooks has 3, and we get it. But that's the rivalry. That's the Tiger Phil going forward, right?
Yeah, but there was like a tweet last year about something about Brooks not having a 6-pack or something, and then Brooks sends a picture of his 4 major trophies and said, "You're right, Bryson. I'm too short of a 6-pack." So this feud is far from over.
Yeah,
and I'm on Brooks' side.
You bet. It's good. It's good. It's good for golf. And there's so many. We talked about it time and time again. There is so many great young players on the PGA Tour. I mean, this is stuff we remember back in the 70s and 80s, right? Right. It's great to have. So let's move on. Now, one thing I wanted to mention, and again, we bring this up, the St. Joseph Regional High School.
Our alma mater.
Close to our heart thing. But there was a Hall of Fame induction for several guys that we knew, that we played with, and so forth. And I just wanted to give a shout out to the 81 first Bergen County Jamboree champions in St. Joe's history.
Yep, which was a big thing.
And there was many more to come. And I think it was the 93 football team, first team to go undefeated
95,
in St. Joe.
I think.
95? Yeah, something like that. But I had an opportunity to say hello to George Stewart, who was, a young guy. He's younger than us, obviously, but what a football player he was.
He was a great linebacker, went on to Rutgers, had a great career,
Yep.
and two of his sons have been prominent Green Knights. So congratulations to George, and a dear friend of mine, Paul Massapietro, went in, and Paul is married to Jill Hennessy, who Crossing Jordan, Law and Order, that type of thing, and wanted to say congratulations to Paul, and you got to see Giggs, Alan Gavin, who's a coach at St. Joe's, who is one of our favorite people on the planet. And
I'm going to say it.
And Giggs is a loyal listener. And Giggs, I just wanted to say, I can't thank you enough. And
you bet.
We love your support, man.
And we're supporting your candidacy because you're going to be a head coach in high school football in New Jersey at some point.
You're goddamn right he is.
Oh, the Monahans. I love that show.
Number 63, Giggs.
But there was also a guy that I met. He was a member of that 81 basketball team, Darryl Rochester. And I haven't seen Darryl Rochester in over 40 years. And it was just so funny to see because when I saw him, we reconnected. So, I mean, how important it is to have friends and keep in touch with your old schoolmates. But Darryl, shout out to you. It was great to see you. And Mike LaRosa, he was on that team. And it was just a kind of a fun thing. It's a high school thing, but we're very loyal to our school and just wanted to give a shout out to those guys.
Yeah, just on St. Joe's real quick. I don't know if they'll get the game in, but they're in the county final for baseball against Don Bosco today. They're 21-1. They beat Bergen Catholic in the semifinals.
Yeah.
Awesome. They may get it in. It's not raining hard. But good luck to the Green Knights today in baseball.
It's great. High school baseball in New Jersey is in the thrones of it, as they say.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Throws. So that was great. I just wanted to give a shout out to those guys, and it was congratulations on it. What's happening today, Steve? One of the big races of the Indy 500 is today.
That's right.
Not like the old days when there used to be
not
20
even
drivers.
Close.
And we talked about that a couple of weeks ago.
At the old Brickyard.
It's going to be 135,000 fans, which is only, I think, 30 or 40% of capacity. How big is that place?
Oh.
So if we're going to have to take a pick, I'm picking Scott Dixon. I think he's the favorite anyway. But I always like that name, Helio Castroneves.
Right.
I'm going to throw a sawbuck on him.
Yeah, to win the Borg Warner Trophy.
But we never missed it when we were kids growing up. It was awesome. And there was 25 drivers that could have won it.
AJ Foyt to, and on and on. Bobby Unser we talked about a couple weeks ago. Notable passing and on and on. So.
Yep. But that's the Indy 500.
Johnny Rutherford.
Yeah.
Just great names.
I bet Johnny Rutherford won 2 of them.
I would say 2.
I think he won 2.
I would.
So let's move on. But first of all, I wanted to give a shout out to our sponsor, Coriano Trucking of Summerhill, New York. Haven't seen those guys in a while. I hope they're getting through the pandemic and everybody's back to normal. But thank you for your support, Guy. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Guy.
Where do you want to go? NBA. How about that, right?
Why? What's going on in the NBA?
Well, the playoffs are underway.
They are.
And what did I talk about? We talked about the Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, and I kind of went out on a limb, said, I think everybody's underestimating the Atlanta Hawks. But it's been a pretty good series so far.
Well, it's tied 1-1. And the
2-1.
Well, 2-1. No.
Hawks are up 2-1.
They are.
They are.
Okay, you're right. They are 2-1.
Yeah.
The game is at 2 hours from now.
Matinee game on Memorial Day weekend.
Right. Mm-hmm. But I think the storyline is Julius Randle has not been playing like Julius Randle has in the regular season.
Yep.
And
But conversely, how about this Derrick Rose? He's really impressed
yeah.
me. He's actually turned it up.
you know,
He's
I,
a pretty good player.
Yeah, I do have newfound respect for Derrick Rose. He's 32 years old,
Yeah.
and during his first tenure with the Knicks, when he would disappear and things like this, I'm like, you piece of fill in the blank. But I got to tell you, if Tibbs loves him, if
Yeah.
Tibbs knows him, and he's battled knee injuries, and he was the MVP at 21 or something.
But you're right.
But Derrick Rose, he's had a good comeback. I'll leave it at that.
But you're right.
He's
We're
an
talking
integral
about
part.
Julius Randle and the year he's had. We voted, most improved player, and rightfully so. We were all on board. He's just getting off. He's having a kind of an A-Rod playoffs.
Not
run.
kind of. He is.
So he'll turn it around. He's not a 1 for 16 from the field.
Well, I'm
guy,
curious
but,
to see if he turns it around because of the way he's played. Is he going to still force it now? Will the pressure mount on him, and will this turn into John Starks in the finals
Right.
against the Rockets?
But when you look
of scenario.
But when you look at the Hawks, how about this Trae Young?
The kid is. Yeah.
He really is just a great player.
He is. I remember, we don't know from Oklahoma watching him. I'm not surprised that this kid has turned into.
But how about the other surprise? This guy Lou Williams. He's been around. He's pretty good, and I really like him.
I do too. I mean,
and Cabela's been,
I'm gonna give Lou a pass. Going to that strip club during the early stages of COVID.
Right.
That's not the Lou I know.
But the series is going to come down, and it's probably going 6 or 7. But if you gotta, look at, what could be the turning point? I got to give Tibbs the edge over Nate McMillan. Talent aside, I'm saying coaching matters in the playoffs, right?
Of course it does. But let's see what happens today, because if the Knicks go down 3-1,
right.
Bye-bye.
But who did I say is going to be in the NBA Finals from day one? The Nets and the Lakers.
No, I thought you said the Grizzlies and the Pelicans.
No. Good one. That's a DeChambeau.
Lakers and Nets.
Right.
Yeah.
But I watched the Nets got blown out by Jason Tatum, laced up 50 points against them.
That's the second time Tatum's gotten 50 in like a month.
Right, but that series is going to be done in 5 or 6 games. The Nets are moving on, believe me.
Yeah, there's no question.
But I had an opportunity with
let me just say.
Go ahead.
I would love if the Nets got, for whatever reason,
got bumped out.
Oh God,
it's not going to happen.
I understand. I'm just in the wishing well.
Right.
Harden and Kyrie.
Yep.
Going home.
Well, I was watching the game with somebody. He's a younger guy than us, Kenny, and he's all on board with these guys. But I made a statement. I said the Nets can win the NBA championship with Durant and Harden, but they can't win it without Kevin Durant. He has really impressed me how awesome this guy is, though. He really has. I mean,
right, of the combination of the three of them.
But if he goes down, that's the missing piece.
Absolutely.
They can't win it with just Irving and Harden, right?
No.
But, the NBA is going on, and like I said, Adam Silver, he's a marketing genius. He wants Anthony Davis, LeBron James against Kevin Durant in the finals. End of story.
Well, speaking of the LeBron, LeBron made an appearance, kind of broke COVID protocol. Let's get suspended.
Gets a free pass.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I got to give, I'm not the biggest Charles Barkley fan, to be honest with you. But he called them out and said, why isn't he getting suspended for one game? Why? Because we know the answer.
And very similar when the Rangers made that statement about not suspending Tom Wilson. It was the same thing. LeBron James said, who came up with this play-in situation? He should be fired. He didn't get fined for that either. He's the commissioner. What can I tell you?
That's the answer.
Okay. So let's move on, Steve. NHL playoff hockey.
Let me just finish on the NBA. Watched the Sixers last night. Don't get me wrong. The Washington Wizards are garbage. But they are going to give the Nets a test. With Embiid being healthy, Tobias Harris.
The Bucks look pretty
Simmons,
good, though. The Bucks look pretty good.
I'm just,
Giannis is a beast.
I know, but my eye test on the Sixers, they're pretty good.
But Giannis is a beast.
So
It's going to be.
I just wanted to make that point.
All right, so let's give our prediction here. I'm going to say the Knicks-Hawks series is going 7, and they could win this. But I think I couldn't be more impressed with Trae Young. But I looked at the other out west, Portland, Denver. They blew them out. Portland blew them out yesterday. So that's going 7 games.
Yeah, but I think
But it doesn't matter because the Lakers are going to the finals.
They are, huh?
We'll move on. National Hockey League.
Listen, last night I was glued to the TV.
What a game.
Yeah, Islanders Bruins was
1 of 7. It
was great.
Right?
Yeah.
1 of 7.
But it was great. The score was 5-2, but it's not indicative of the game. This is going to be a great series.
Yep.
And
I wanted to bring something up because I brought it up. I actually, and it's my philosophy. I don't bet against Sidney Crosby. But the Islanders took it to them. They are prime. They learned a lot from last season, and they got the best coach in the league. It's going to be an awesome knockdown, drag-out series. Bruins, Islanders. And I told you I thought Bruins were the best-looking team, and you were right about in the West. That Colorado looks almost hard to beat out West. Good call on that one.
I'm all in on Colorado.
Yeah.
Listen,
Colorado Bruins.
I wasn't
final.
upset Sid the Kid got eliminated, to be honest. I'm not upset that Washington is out.
I know. Sid the Kid's like Brady. Everyone hates him because he's so good. You know.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I appreciate Sidney Crosby's talent. I do. But the Pittsburgh Penguins, I don't.
But the Islanders look really, really good.
Yeah, the
really,
Islanders
really good. And
do.
listen, we're Ranger fans, but we wouldn't be bummed to see the Islanders win the Stanley Cup. That's for sure. That's a sports,
That's a
nonpartisan.
That's
thing.
a bold statement on your behalf.
Listen, the 4 Islander Cups in a row is one of the greatest.
I already know our
sports.
loyal listener James Walsh is going to take exception to that comment.
Listen, he's a sports fan first before a loyalist.
He lives on Long Island with Islander fans,
Okay.
and he's a Ranger fan.
Well,
I should say no more than
and
that.
we're getting an email from him on Tuesday.
That's
I
my
guess.
point.
Okay.
Probably, actually, he's off today, so I would expect something by the afternoon, Mr. Walsh.
But listen, NHL playoffs is awesome, and even though if your team's not in it, it's still awesome.
Oh, it's great.
It's awesome. But I wanted to bring this up because this is your guy. He's my guy too. But Ovechkin going to be re-signed by the Caps
Absolutely. Why would there even be a debate about that?
because they're not going to pay him the money they've been paying him. That's the whole thing. And I know you want him. He wants to stay in Washington.
No,
so-
the point is, I'm glad that he's out of the playoffs because that's one less game he's playing to break Wayne Gretzky's record.
yeah.
No doubt, Washington resigns.
Hall of Famer. We love him. He's awesome. Great player. And the scene of him drinking beer out of the Stanley Cup was classic, right? Yeah. Classic.
No debate on that.
I kind of hope he stays. I just don't think
There's
he's
no
going to...
debate. I don't know. There's no debate whatsoever.
I don't know. We'll see.
Book
But he's
it,
not going to break Wayne
Book it,
Gretzky's-
Dano. Ovechkin resigns.
Okay. We got it. How about we move on to Major League Baseball, Steve? Why don't you take it away? Your Yankees got... they're not scoring runs. They got like 4 guys that are hitting under 200, and they're still winning games. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm less than impressed with my Bronx Bombers, to be honest.
But Derek Cole's not disappointing, right?
No. Outside of Garrett Cole, Corey Kluber, is going to be out 2 months, shoulder, et cetera, et cetera. The catching situation is a disaster. I mean, how many times can we bring up Gary Sanchez, et cetera? Voigt's hurt, this, that, and the other thing. Gleyber Torres, to his credit, has turned it on, and I made the statement he doesn't look like a bona fide shortstop. I may rescind that.
Yeah.
But
the Mets aren't hitting either, but they're leading.
well, the Mets have 17 of their 25 guys from opening day are on the disabled list.
Right, that happens.
Not the IR. We're disabled list guys. But as far as who's the best team out there, I gotta say the Dodgers, obviously. But I'm telling you,
but they're not winning.
San Diego is going to be.
Well, they were all in the
I
offseason.
understand, but I'm just saying, San Diego.
They got a lot of talent.
They are no joke.
I'm becoming a buyer of this.
I've already
Tatis.
bought.
Okay.
I've already bought.
Yep. Look, in New York, if you got Francisco Lindor, he's not hitting. They gave him this big contract, but he'll come around. He's a good ball player. But the Mets, Noah Syndergaard had a setback from Tommy John. We don't hear that a lot though.
What a shot!
Tommy John is usually okay.
I made this comment at work.
Yeah,
you can kiss Syndergaard goodbye.
Yeah,
forget it.
But it's early in the season. But
they're Met fans. Oh no, shut him down. Shut him down for all you want. He's damaged goods.
Wow,
he is.
Okay.
Anybody wants to know a Syndergaard?
But it's rare that you have setbacks from Tommy John. It usually, where do I sign? You get Tommy John. 80% of them come back.
But now we're talking about Major League Baseball. There has been the Royals a couple weeks ago, 11 straight losses.
Yeah.
Currently, the Baltimore Orioles riding a 12-game
losing streak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably 13 today.
Right.
It's uncanny. There's certain teams that are just.
But look, we got
god awful.
130 games left.
The Diamondbacks are another one.
Yeah.
11 in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember 3 teams.
Well, look, the Oakland
that have lost this amount on a streak.
But the Oakland A's
Top of my
started
head,
the season, at the bottom, and then they wrapped off 11 out of 12.
Same
or something
thing,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah. But please, end of story. Do not move the mound back. Do not do anything to Major League Baseball.
Well, it's not going to be moved until not during the season.
But look, it's early in the season. There's playoffs and other sports to take our time away. But listen, one thing we got to mention. All-time Cowboy Joe West broke the all-time Major League umpiring games record. How about him?
Oh, good.
Right? We used to, back in the 70s, the Ron Luciano days, the Dutch Renner, which was the greatest call on a strike 3, ever in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, sure.
But you got to, listen, Joe West has had his share of controversy over the years, but he owns the record.
Yeah. I miss Bill Kunkel with the, with the balloon.
The balloon.
Totally.
Bill Kunkel, good one. But it was Luciano, and that Dutch Renner call behind the plate was, believe me. He even called strike 1, for 10 minutes. Enrico Palazzo from Naked Gun, right?
You better believe it.
And how about this? We talked about baseball and what's been going on with these trading cards. Again, an Honest Wagner.
The great one.
No, but the Honest Wagner now just broke the record for the, they keep passing this on. $3.75 million.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I saw Wayne Gretzky went for $3.75 million.
Owns the record in hockey, but in
like
baseball,
this week.
It's still
his rookie card.
It's still Honest Wagner, right?
Honest.
And there was a thing. Mike Trout's rookie card sold for $3.9 million or something like that. I mean, where are people getting this money? Is there no pandemic out there? I'm just saying.
What, are you kidding?
But Cowboy Joe West, I wanted to bring that up. I thought you would find that. The guy's been umping since early 80s.
We talked about it. Some guy bought this card, and then he's going to invite his buddies over, and they'll be like, they're going to have to wear a hazmat suit to go visit. I don't want you to stand too close to it. Please.
Cowboy Joe West. Oh, that's pretty funny, though. The Bill Kunkel balloon chest protector.
You better believe it.
Good call.
Absolutely.
So let's move on to the National Football League. Obviously, the Aaron Rodgers saga continues. Cowboys hired Ben McAdoo as a consultant to Mike McCarthy. What do you think about that?
I don't think it's a surprise. They have history together at Green Bay. I guess this is McAdoo's first job. I hope I don't get to see him on TV. Hopefully, he has a new hairstylist.
Oh, he's been a race.
And new fashion guy.
Even when he got fired by the Giants, he's been a offensive coordinator somewhere.
I'm making light of the fact that Giant fans know what I'm talking about.
Right.
When he slicked back his hair and stuff.
It was ridiculous.
But listen, McAdoo,
Yep.
offense is his forte.
Yep.
I don't see an issue with this. As long as he's behind the scenes upstairs and
Since Jerry Jones is in charge anyway, right?
we feel that Ben McAdoo
Gives us
brings
the best
a
chance to win.
to go 26 years and not win the Super Bowl.
That's right. And Dak is back. He's healthy. And how about this from the NFL? Adam Vinatieri, all-time leading scorer, retires.
Yup. Good call.
Yeah. Adam Vinatieri. He kind of, the last couple of years, he kind of hung on a little too long, but Bill Belichick said he was as good as it gets. And
To me, I think he's the greatest all-time kicker. I do.
this and Jan
Mr.
Stenerud and
Mr.
Fred
Clutch.
Cox,
Mr. Clutch, yeah.
Tony Fritsch.
Totally.
Now, he had a great career, though. I mean, Matt Barr clutch.
Like his first biggest kick was the snow game, the tuck rule against the Raiders, right? At New England. Remember the snow and Gannon?
That was his first? Really? Wow.
Like the first big kick. And then after that, he's got, what do he got? 3, I think he's got 3 rings, but game-winning Super Bowl kicks.
Yeah.
He's kicked till, what is he, 44?
46.
Yeah, something like that.
46.
And it's funny because I think he probably played longer now for the Colts than he did for New England.
I know, but he's had a rough couple of years.
He's been hurt, this, that, and the other thing. But I listen, I'm acknowledging Adam Vinatieri.
I brought it up.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Thumbs up.
Big time.
Great career, and I think he's probably the greatest kicker.
I don't think it could be disputed. He's the all-time leading scorer in the National Football League. So,
but clutch.
Yeah.
Clutch.
Yeah. And I just wanted to say our NFL segment was sponsored by Lynch Toyota of Manchester, Connecticut, who they're up there doing business. And again, we said, you got a Toyota need, bring it to Lynch. They'll take care of it.
They will.
Hi, Mike. Thanks for sponsoring the show. One thing I want to just go back. Baseball's 2 millionth run was just scored over the weekend.
Wow.
By Josh Donaldson.
Oh, okay.
And the reason I bring it up, because we remember when the 1 millionth run was scored.
I was going to say, it's already 1 million runs since Bob Watson.
Bob Watson.
Who passed earlier this year.
He did. But how about that? The 2 millionth run.
Makes sense.
And listen, that's going to change a little bit because they're going to start incorporating the Negro League statistics into Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
So that didn't include, the numbers from the Negro Leagues, which is, listen, we're all for that. It was awesome. The Josh Gibson days, that was great stuff.
And I think they should move the plate because, 2 million runs scored. It's not fair.
I know.
They should move the mound back. They should move home plate.
But I think they gave Bob Watson 1,000 Tootsie Rolls, which he donated to charity. Yeah. So, Josh, I hope you do the same. But that's kind of nostalgia from a baseball perspective.
I wouldn't be surprised if Bob Watson kept about 500 of those Tootsie Rolls for himself.
Good one.
Thank you.
So listen, I just wanted to bring something else up. We're going to move into our final segment of notable passings. Unfortunately, we've had some weeks where it was actually good news. There wasn't many, but this is kind of a full slate.
Yeah, I mean, part of the reason we're broadcasting today is, we were waiting for, some people to die yesterday. So.
And they did. And they did.
A prominent one, too.
But from a sports perspective, it was kind of almost a shocking story. There's, we talk about running, and, you and I used to run, and I ran a bunch of 10Ks when I was younger and so forth. Don't do it anymore. But these, from a sports perspective, we talk about a marathon, right? 26.2 miles. This was an ultra marathon thing run in China. And listen, it was 64 miles long. It's so tragic, though. It started out and they had to run up, actually go to 6,500 feet above sea level. And then they had this wicked hailstorm. The temperatures dropped. Over 20 people died. That's what, from a sports perspective, there's got to be a limit to how much the human body can take. And it was just a shocking story, though. I mean, and it happened in China. And again, just the thought of running 64 miles, makes my stomach turn.
You know how we say there's never a lock on this show? Well,
62 miles.
I'm going to give you a lock. I'm not dying running 64 miles in China up and encountering a hailstorm. That's a lock.
I get tired thinking about taking an elevator 6,500 feet. But, listen, that's a tragic story, and it is something that, listen, people are obsessed with these ultra marathons. I only think the human body can endure so much. Yeah. But anyway,
knock yourselves out if that's your bag.
So let's move on to our notable passings, Steve, of which there were many. We're going to start off with sports. J.D. Roberts.
See.
And you know who J.D. Roberts was? He coached the New Orleans Saints. He was the guy that sent Tom Dempsey in for the 63-yard field goal.
Yeah.
Former Outland Trophy winner at Oklahoma.
Yes.
And he was 90-something, in his 90s, but he was kind of a nice figure for the New Orleans Saints.
New Orleans Saints, yeah.
And I tried to think, who was the first coach of the New Orleans Saints? And I looked it up. It was Tom Fears.
Yes.
Right?
I would have known that.
Right. But J.D. Roberts, had a great career,
sure.
war guy and so forth, and,
hey,
that's our theme today.
You got it.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Yep. Couple other guys from the world of sports. Mark Eaton passed away.
Yes, yesterday.
The weekend. Yeah. 64 years old. I think it was an accident, biking accident. I said, that must have been some bike, 7 foot 4 inches.
Right, I made the comment before the show. Sean Bradley's paralyzed. What's he, 7'6" or something?
Yeah.
And
Eaton was a good ball player.
Very good.
Played his entire career for the Utah Jazz. Yeah.
But I find that ironic. Two guys well over 7 feet tall involved in bike accidents. One tragically loses his life, and the other one's paralyzed.
Yeah.
I guess the point is, if you're over 7 feet tall, stay off a bike. What else?
Right,
what else can I surmise from that?
I get it. I'm not even 6 feet tall, and I don't go on a bike.
Right. I mean, what kind of bike do they ride? That family bike with like 4 seats on it, and he has to sit in the back. So
no, but I actually talked about this. This biking is so popular today, and drivers don't give the bikes the right of way, and this is going to happen.
Forget it. When you're driving, you see a sea of bikes. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's a dangerous thing. But Mark Eaton, 64 years old.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Couple other guys, and this is kind of notable. Senator John Warner from Virginia, right? Mr. Elizabeth Taylor, if we use that term.
One of many.
94, but listen, I give 2 thumbs up. It's our Memorial Day weekend. He was a World War II, Korean War
John
guy.
Warner, no question.
Head of military affairs in Congress.
He was prominent as a senator during the Reagan administration, things like that.
Politics aside, he was a stand-up guy.
He was, 94, so R.I.P. John Warner.
Yeah. Big time. But that was the running joke was they used to call him Senator Elizabeth Taylor.
What else would you call him?
Right. Also, listen, from the world of Hollywood.
But when he was married to Elizabeth Taylor, she wasn't exactly, national velvet material.
No, she wasn't.
Or Cleopatra.
She was a beautiful woman. She was. That didn't last long, that marriage, but Anyway, from
None of them did.
talking about bike accidents, and this is from one of our favorite Hollywood movies, was School of Rock. Steve and I were talking about it.
God, we love that movie.
The kid that played the drummer, Freddie.
Yeah.
He was 32 years old, killed in a biking accident.
Freddie. Sorry, Dave. Freddie!
But Jack Black telling him how to play the drums was funny as could be.
Can you do this?
No. Like this. That's it. You got it.
You got it.
Oh, Kevin Clark, 32 years old.
Hey, R.I.P. Too young.
Another one. He just dropped this on me this morning. Murray Slaughter, Gavin McLeod, Captain Stubing. I mean, whatever you want to call him.
McHale's Navy.
He was in Twilight Zones. He was in everything. You know. But he was great as Murray Slaughter on Mary Tyler Moore, wasn't he?
No question.
Oh my God.
The Love Boat got to be a little too much for me.
Oh, but the deadpan he played with Mary and Lou, it was so funny. Gavin McLeod, how old was he? 90-something?
90. Right on the nose.
Wow.
The clown episode on Mary Tyler Moore.
Oh, he was, you're right, everything. Untouchables episodes, anything that was way back when.
He's up there in most appearances of
Big
anybody.
Time. Never, I can't say I know him as Captain Stubing. I saw him in those shorts and the high socks.
But really, the Mary Tyler Moore show
was great.
Chuckles the Clown episode.
One of the all-time best half-hour comedy.
Murray couldn't control the laughter, which spread to Mary and Lou and everything.
Mary Tyler Moore.
That episode.
Mary Tyler Moore should have won an Oscar for that role. Oh. That half hour was so funny. It was ridiculous.
Chuckles the Clown, Mary Tyler Moore.
And Murray making those deadpan
That's my point. That's the best. That's probably his best Mary Tyler Moore show.
Without question. Without question.
Deadpans.
So one other guy, Samuel Wright, and how people say who, but he was the voice of Sebastian in The Little Mermaid. Which, when I was a parent, my kids loved this, and I loved that.
I still love Sebastian. You kidding me?
He's going to kill himself a crab. That's what her father would say.
No doubt. No doubt.
That was a great role. Very, very funny. That and what was the one with Robin Williams? Aladdin. Those are my two favorite animated movies of all time. And if you had kids back then, you'd understand.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's definitely up there.
So Samuel Wright was his name. And how about this? Late breaking. B.J. Thomas.
Sure.
And we talked about it. Steve quizzed me.
Raindrops are falling on my head.
Just so, right. You know, guys should know.
Paul Newman on the bike and Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
How classic.
It's great.
But also Hooked on a Feeling.
Two versions. His version and then a remake of it.
It was always
but he wrote it. And
when I thought of B.J. Thomas, it was always like he was just as handsome as Tom Jones. And they had these big hits. It was kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
B.J. Thomas. Congratulations. 78 years old. I would have thought he was north than that.
Hey, lived a good life on those songs, that's for sure.
But dang, that's a laundry list today, unfortunately.
Yeah, could be a record.
But again, I just wanted to thank you guys for joining us this week. And again, it's Memorial Day weekend. And thank you very much. And send some feedback to us at sportswithmonoandmono@gmail.com.
Yes.
And Steve, enjoy the sports and the reasons that we have the liberty to watch them.
Will do.
All right.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Look forward to the response and feedback, and have a safe week. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll catch up next week.
We will. Can't wait to be back.
You got it.
Enjoy it, guys.
Bye.
Bye.